So my name is Bob Adams. I'm with the California Office of the Small Business Advocate, and I serve the Central Valley as the Central Valley Local Engagement Specialist in San Joaquin, Stanislaus, Eastern Sierra, and of course I would be remiss if I didn't introduce my partner, Jermaine Carter Gibson, who is also a representative of, if you live in Sacramento and North State, he's the guy you need to speak with about any of the topics we're going to touch on today. And I appreciate Jermaine being here too. And I also want to take a moment to recognize a couple of partners, or at least one partner that I'm aware of. My good friend Les Fong from the San Joaquin Small Business Development Center, making it up today. Are there any other partners we have here that I have not been introduced to? Just want to make sure. I don't want to skip anybody over. Oh, sorry. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, Rami Singer from Sacramento MBA Business Center.
Thank you very much. So, I appreciate everybody being here today and to go over what it is that CalOSBA does and how we weave together resources for small businesses and startups to those who want to start, manage, and scale their business. And so, before I move on though, I want to talk a little bit about what I love. I love fishing and I love baseball. And I just got to ask the question, does anybody in here have a bass boat? All right, thanks for coming. Good to see you guys. Kidding. And of course, I advocate for small business success. That's my role. That's what I want to do. That's why I'm here today. And I'm also really proud of seeing where the DVE Summit has come. I had the distinct pleasure of, I worked for Caltrans going back about 4 years ago, and I had the distinct pleasure of putting together the very first DVE Summit, and it is really cool to see how far they've come and the participation they're getting. It's just really cool. So anyway, a little bit more about CalOSBA. Let's talk about this. What do we do? And how does this work? It's not working. All right, let's do this the old-fashioned way. I got you. Oh, thank you, man. There we go. So our mission, what do we do? What are we here for? How many people actually even heard of CalOSBA before? One. You know what? That's our typical response, because we really work behind the scenes on ensuring that folks are finding the success and the traction needed to start, manage, scale, and be successful. So what is it we do, right? We support California's dreamers to start, scale, and succeed as small business owners and employers and drivers of the economy. Our goals and our mission is to administer the governor's direct grant relief supporting small businesses. Number 2, fund and oversee the network of small business support centers. Number 3, increase the pipeline of loans to our smallest and most vulnerable business in the state of California. Number 4, advance the resiliency of our small businesses through disaster awareness and preparation. And number 5, represent and elevate the voices of California's small business owners. And one of my favorite things is the fun fact that we have here. The number one reason people say they want to start their own business, be their own boss. I think a lot of times people don't recognize how much work that actually is and what it takes to find that success, right? It takes a lot of guts and determination. Next slide, please. So, our vision, CalOSBA's vision, to democratize capital, serving those communities that are underserved, making sure that we're able to be an inclusive organization and through our partners inclusive and democratizing access to capital. Drive economic mobility through entrepreneurship, giving them the resources necessary, the advisors necessary, working with our SBDC partners, women business centers, and others throughout the state, over 150 offices that we help fund up and down the state of California to make that dream a reality. Diversify the innovation economy. How do we do that? Well, through our SBDCs and other partners, but also through what's called our innovation hubs. We have 13 innovation hubs that we fund up and down the state in addition to our SBDC partners and other women business centers to help them take that idea to a reality, to make it real, tangible, and make them successful in their approach to becoming a successful entrepreneur in the state of California. So who do we serve? We serve California's entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs, SBDCs, our iHubs that I just mentioned, CDFIs, which our previous host just talked about, our community development financial institutions, FDCs, financial development corporations, other partners and preferred lenders up and down the state. Chambers of commerce, other business and economic development organizations working directly with county, city, and other economic development folks. In all the counties and cities that we represent, we try to become very involved in what's going on in each of the cities, what's going on, what's the temperature of economic development, what are they looking to achieve, right? And then finally, communities, residents, and community leaders and other stakeholders as it pertains to economic development and starting small businesses within those regions and cities. Next slide. So our small business support network, our scale network, success, capital access, and leadership for entrepreneurs. That's what SCALE stands for. And that's what we try to do with the network that we have helped develop. And it comes in all, questions come into us all the time. We get a plethora of questions, and here's just a few that we get, right? Can you teach me about accounting? Can you teach me about marketing? Can you teach me about government contracts? Should I look for an investor? Do I have the right licenses and permits? Cash flow is tight. How do I get a loan? What do I need why do I need a business plan? All of those basic questions come into play for somebody just starting out. And that's what the SBDCs and other partners do so well. They connect you with an advisor that is industry specific, that knows what you're going through, to make sure that you're tied into the resources and understanding of what it's going to take to get you to the next level and get you moving forward on the roadmap in developing those business plans, executing a business plan when you take it in front of a lender that is going to be successful or hopefully successful, so that they see you're working with an SBDC, they know you're serious about where you're going, and so they really make the outline viable, and the ability for them make it easier to say yes on capitalizing your dream. So, what we're going to do, we're going to connect you with a trusted business advisor ready to support your dream. No cost, one-on-one advising, and a pathway to funding. Low-cost training, depending on what the training's for and what you're going through, for every aspect of your business. And you can always go to our website and find an advisor near you. Super easy. Just go to our map tool on our website, and then it'll take you, you can identify the center that you want to work with and get connected. And of course, our mantra moving ahead is don't go it alone. There's no reason to go it alone. Next slide. So from bright idea to successful exit, here's an example of that map on our website. It's going to show you the map and all the centers that are up and down the state, and it's going to list all of the partners that we have. You just click on the one closest to you. You can connect with them either through a form you can fill out or just making a direct phone call to those folks. Small business development centers, women business centers, Apex accelerators, veterans business outreach centers. Those are all part of our SCALE network, and help you access new markets and for procurement opportunities with Apex accelerators, plus dozens of nonprofit business support organizations and preferred capital providers across the state. So next slide. Scale. Are you ready to scale your journey? Right. Most of you guys. How many folks in here are you're in business right now? You got it going on, right? So you've been through this road, right? You know what's kind of going on, where this all leads. So you're a small business owner. You're seeking capital. How many of you expect to look for more capital in the future for growth or expansion or whatever it may be, right? So that's a beautiful thing. When you have a relationship with a trusted advisor, and we hope that maybe through an SBDC or whomever else that you may be working with your accountant or whoever else, that you're able to find those resources for your business. You work with your personal network, check the internet, you land here, you find the SCALE intake form, you're referred to a trusted advisor. Those folks can, not always depending on what's going on, but one of those trusted advisors through our partner network can become a lifelong coach. They can become a lifelong full business cycle individual that can get with you and help you outline what it is you're needing to do next, taking that dream and moving it forward. We started with a 2-man crew. We're flipping burgers. We're looking to grow. Everything's growing. I need more capital. I need more room. So those folks can help you through all that process. And and having those trusted advisors around you, what do they say? They say, always hire people or work with people, surround your people who are smarter than you, right? Make them smarter than you, and that is a role and a road to success. So with the help of the advisor, funded, your small business is ready to scale and move forward to the next step. Next slide. All right, so I'm going to keep this first portion of my presentation down really to just these few slides. So visit CalOSBA Business Learning Center, doing business with the state. You can find these links to whatever it is you're looking for. Perhaps you're maybe looking to look for a new location. We have permits and licensing. We have folks who can help you with site selection through GoBiz and our office. We have disaster resources, talking about the LA fires right now. We have an entire Outsmart disaster webpage dedicated to all the resources that are needed down in that region so those folks can connect if you happen to be here from LA. We have those available if you have friends and family that are looking for those resources. Our site will have that at our Outsmart disaster webpage. Next. So every month in your inbox, don't forget, subscribe to our CalOSBA newsletter, success stories like this one from around the state. We've got these folks here. Updates from our director on programs, grant programs are going to be launching. Director's column from the Advocate, our director, Carolyn Gray. She is wonderful, always has great columns, other useful information to start, manage, and grow and scale your business. Next slide. So you can follow us here on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook or Nextdoor, all of those available if you so choose. So, and you can use that QR code if you'd like. I'll hold that just for a second while I move on to the last portion of my quick presentation here. I hope to get through this for you. Y'all ready? One more? All right. I want to stop this one right here. So I'm going to keep this here for just a minute. A mindset for lasting success. Relationships are the foundation. Contracts are the reward. So how many businesses in here are construction oriented today? All construction. So a few, okay. How many of you guys are experienced DVEs? How many have secured contracts? 1, 2, 3. How many are new DVEs looking to secure contracts? How many have made a bid but got rejected? Any bids been, you guys got all your contracts? You didn't get rejected for a bid? All right. So just keep it there, Jermaine, that's fine. We'll stay there for a little bit. The rest of this is more of an oral presentation on my behalf, and I really got to thinking of this. I wanted to tie together the resources that our office has for connecting with our SBDC partners and advisors. And I wanted to take the experience that I gained over the years for subcontractors, DVEs, SBs, and DVBEs looking to connect, because if you're getting the right advising, the people in line to assist you with your business planning and everything else, the next portion of that is understanding and how you're going to secure contracts. And it all starts with this. There's more to this than what I'm saying here. There's more, there's quality work, there's all the things that you probably heard Secretary Omoshakin talk about, and Tony Tavares, the Director Tavares. This is what they're getting at. This is what they're, but I wanted to break it down into just a simple phrase. Relationships are the foundation, contracts are the reward. So you guys told me, I see a good mix of folks in here that have secured contracts. So why is this important, right? Well, you want work. You want work. So understanding whether you're new or experienced, refining your approach to bids and relationships with prime contractors is the key. Identify those contractors that are working in your region that you think you're going to be reaching out to. Understand who their bid teams are. Understanding what you need to do with your capability statements, being able to approach those folks so they know you and they understand that you provide quality work, because your capability statement and your references and your certification numbers, all the stuff that is in there is going to provide them a little bit of, okay, here's a new person, let's take a look at this and see what we got going on here. So they reach out and they ask your references about what kind of quality work you did on the previous project. and understanding that. And so you need to understand where the prime contractors are coming from too, right? You got to understand the scope of the work, what's going to be required. And so each prime contractor has its own bid evaluation criteria. So subcontracting needs, subcontracting needs and risk tolerance. So you may be new and not be able to prove a lot of your work. That's risk for them, right? They're going, okay, this firm is new. It looks like they have some good successes here. Let's reach out, find out. But you have to know them well enough to give them the fortitude to reach out to you and do this, right? So some prime contractors will prioritize price. Others will weigh experience with that, certifications, project-specific qualifications, and need, right? Primes probably could do most of the work themselves if there wasn't the goals that are set in there, right? So it's important to understand the totality of the bid you're putting together and how you're reaching out to those folks. So the key differences: scope of work. Primes may define work packages differently. Bonding and insurance. Some primes require different levels of coverage. Past performance and references, we just talked about. Compliance and documentation, the back office work that goes on that your staff or back office folks are going to be taking care of, the job site stuff that's going to be going on. It is important to understand the full scope of that so that you have a handle on it after you go through the full process of getting funded and finding somebody to get all that taken care of. And then also including in that the capital requirements necessary to carry you through those jobs. You need to have access to capital. You need people that you can rely on to go to and say, Mr. and Mrs. Linder, I have just secured this contract for X amount of dollars. I need capital to carry me through so I can keep payroll, lights, everything else going on while I'm doing this work. And then providing that quality work, make sure that everything's done on time so that you get paid on time so there's no prompt pay issues, right? You get all that stuff taken care of. So how do you prepare for those bidding styles? Well, review past bids. Look for patterns. Network with primes to understand their specific needs. Prior to submitting your bid, go in to talk to the prime, their bid team, and ask them about format. Now, they're not going to give you, there's some things they can't tell you, right? There's some things they're not going to be able to expose. But they can tell you if you're basically on the right track in helping to develop that bid proposal. Align your capability statement. This is very important. Align your capability statement to match the prime's focus area. If you're going in for landscape and then and the prime is asking for something just slightly different or off, there's a good chance you might not be matching what they're looking for. So understand exactly what it is they're looking for when you go there. And so, did they go with a lower price company? Did they, they have concerns about experience or capacity? Why was it rejected? If you get a rejected bid, go in and talk to the bid teams and ask them why it was rejected. Evaluate it so that you can go back the next time to put together a more solid bid that's going to meet meet their criteria, but also understand, identify each and every prime contractor in your region that does the bulk of work, and then make a focus on reaching out to those bid teams to understand what they're looking for in their project bids, because each one's going to vary slightly, okay? So you want the best opportunity to succeed. You need to have relationships are the foundation, contracts are the reward, okay? And stay on their radar. Don't fall off their radar. I don't care. Bring them a box of donuts once in a while. Whatever you got to do, just stay on their radar. Whatever it is you think it needs, or maybe just an email saying, hi, it's Bob, and I'm checking in. And so looking forward to bidding on this upcoming project, right? Whatever. Just try to stay on their radar. Don't fall off. Otherwise, you have to restart all again. And why it matters. It helps prime contractors quickly assess if you're a good fit. Can be a deciding factor if multiple DDEs, there's lots of them, searching for, competing for the same contract. So what to include, your core competencies, your past performance, certifications, NAICS codes, bonding capacity. You have to do that. Some prime contractors have some bonding programs associated with their firms. Others will look to you to say, what is your bonding capacity, where are you at, here's what you're bidding, we need to make sure, right? So they're gonna check that. And my pro tip, customize your capability statement for each prime. Each prime to highlight the most relevant qualifications. And I'm gonna close here with this. So the key takeaways, understand how bid requirements vary between primes. If you lose a bid, ask why, and use your feedback to improve each and every time. And your capability statement is your introduction, and you need to make it count. First impressions are everything. So I'll leave you with that, and I wanted to tie all that together because this is very specific to this industry. Being able to have the advisors and folks who are on the front end of everything and working with you through the process while you develop your business and your company, and you're taking it to the next level to connect with prime contractors. And by the way, if you do want to work on a prime contractor project, be prepared to be probably affiliated with a union, right? That's very important. Hate to say it, but the truth is the truth. And here's the second thing. If you're a non-union affiliated firm, there are ways around that. How is that? Anybody know?
Project labor agreement?
I'm sorry?
A project labor agreement?
That is one way. There's two ways. I'm gonna give you just one more. The second way would be working and looking to minor D projects, because you, or small minor A projects, by the way, minor Bs, I would have to verify with my Caltrans friends, but I believe they've gotten rid of the bid bonds that were necessary for minor Bs prior. So I think that's still the case. I've been gone for a few years. And the threshold for minor Bs is up over 400 and some odd thousand now. I think it's 410, 420, something like that. So check into minor Bs. You become the prime. Then you can do the work or subcontract that stuff out to folks who are looking to work with you to build your business and gain traction in the contracting arena. So with that, don't forget the resources we mentioned at the front, because it's very, very important that you connect with people to help you get capital access, modifying your business plans moving ahead, understanding where you're going, understanding your growth, understanding what you need to do to become solidified in this arena, because it is a challenging, frustrating, headache-creating opportunity sometimes. It's an opportunity, but it can be challenging. So I'm going to leave you with some words of wisdom before I go today. And my words of wisdom are this. This too shall pass. It may pass like a kidney stone, but it will pass. You got to have some levity when you're doing this, right? So you got to remember, there are going to be some tough times. You probably, those of you already working, have gone through some of those tough times. And I think you may be able to relate to some of this, but I'm just saying it is important to have an objective view of where you're going, understanding the front end of your business, the back end of your business, the front of your business, every aspect of it, so that you can have the best chance at securing these contracts with state agencies, not just Caltrans, state agencies, local counties like LA County, San Francisco, all of those metros that have DBE goals for their infrastructure projects. And don't forget, if you're certified as a DBE, you need to get certified as a small business as well if you fall within the parameters. Make sure you have as many of those certifications as you can, cross-certify, and have them under your belt as a tool to use, okay? So that's it for me. I want to thank you. Is there any questions that I can answer? All right, well, I made you all millionaires. Go get it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.